Instagram sold for $1 billion back in 2012. For 7 years, it was a clean, happy story. Two founders, a massive payday, a friendly goodbye. But then in April 2025, under oath in a federal courtroom, the founder finally said what he could never say before. Mark Zuckerberg didn't just buy Instagram, he tried to choke it from the inside because he saw it as a threat. And what happens to a founder when the billion-dollar exit turns out to be a quiet cage? Stick around because later I'll break down the playbook for what happens when you sign away control and realize too late the buyer never shared your mission. The hardest part isn't the money, it's watching someone dismantle what you built while you're forced to smile for the press release. Instagram in 2012 was barely a company, a handful of engineers, a growth curve, a cultural moment happening in real time. When Facebook offered $1 billion in stock, it felt like total validation. Kevin Systrom, the original founder, he took the deal. He stayed on to manage the transition, and he walked out the door in 2018. His departure statement was a masterpiece of corporate diplomacy. Talk of curiosity, no hard feelings. The media called it a clean, amicable exit. And everyone believed it. When someone walks away with $1 billion, well, you assume that they had won. Now let's fast forward to April 2025. The FTC put Systrom on the stand against Meta. Under oath with no PR handlers in the room, the real story came out. Systrom testified that Zuckerberg, he saw Instagram's growth as a threat, not as an asset, and that Meta choked off its resources to protect Facebook's dominance. He put it plainly on the stand. Mark was not investing in Instagram because he believed we were a threat to their growth. He also described something stranger. Zuckerberg's investment in Instagram, it seemed to rise and fall with his own mood about which app was winning. Systrom's word for it, emotion. So for 7 years, Systrom, he had to play the grateful, the wealthy alumnus while watching his creation get weaponized. Quick question, and drop it below. Drop your comments. If you sold your company for a fortune, then watch the buyer undermine everything you built. Would you keep protecting your reputation with a diplomatic script, or drop the mask the second you got the chance? Systrom, he didn't just disappear to a beach. Back in 2023 with co-founder Mike Krieger, he launched a company called Artifact, an AI newsreader meant to be his independent comeback, but it didn't work. Attention spans had shifted, the market had moved on, and adaptation, it never came. In January 2024, they shut it down entirely. His redemption arc, just a quiet wind down and a modest advisory-only sale on the leftover tech to Yahoo. Basically, the guy who built Instagram, he found out that yesterday's success, it doesn't guarantee tomorrow's audience. Here's a part that's almost kind of darkly funny. It wasn't Systrom's actual life. Everyone assumed $1 billion exit buys freedom. Sell to a buyer who sees you as a threat instead of a partner, and it doesn't. You just traded control to a very expensive leash. 3 things the story kind of actually proves. First, money doesn't buy loyalty. A buyer's balance sheet has nothing to do whether they actually care about what you built. If their real goal is neutralizing a threat, your creation becomes collateral damage, no matter what they paid for it. Second, reputation outlives the payout. Systrom spent 7 years bound by a polite PR script before the truth came out in a courtroom. The checks, they clear fast. The cover story has to hold on a lot longer. And finally, your next win doesn't care about your last one. Artifact's quiet death, it proved the market doesn't remember your trophies. Building Instagram once didn't make building the next thing any easier. Today, Systrom's chapter looks nothing like Instagram's early days. He's mostly stepped back from the startup treadmill. Some tech investing, a few boards, low profile. Krieger, meanwhile, he joined Anthropic, as chief product officer in 2024, and he moved to its new labs group this past January. Systrom, he took the billion-dollar prize, and he learned that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. I never sold a tech giant to Facebook, but I know what it feels like to watch something get built out, pull back into reality you didn't design. The hardest part of letting go isn't the financial transaction. It's realizing that once the ink dries, you don't really hold the pen anymore. When my own business chapter ended, I stood in my kitchen at 9 a.m. with a cold cup of coffee, staring at a blank wall. Nobody needed an email from me. It wasn't sad exactly, but just a bit strange, a quiet void. I'd spent my whole life building a financial plan and never once built a plan for who I'd be when I couldn't control the outcome. If you're heading toward an exit or already standing on the other side of one, don't wait for a courtroom to force the truth out of you. The money handles what you did yesterday. You're the one who designs tomorrow. If you're interested, grab my free book. It's After the Exit, and there's a link below. There's some good stories in that book. Tell me in the comments, when a founder trades independence for a massive check, is it ever really worth it? Hit subscribe, build your plan B, not just the one for your money, and I'll see you in the next one.